We're taking a look back at NXT's Great American Bash from Sunday night from Austin, Texas. A pretty hot crowd for a pretty hot show. Generally speaking, this was very solid. Comparatively to the last NXT pay-per-view, maybe a titch below that one, but this was still something else. Very good. About three of the matches really stood out as excellent, but unfortunately there was a low-hanging fruit on this show as well that we're going to talk about a little bit here as part of Top 10 Takes on a Tuesday. So let's get into it. The top 10 takes from NXT's Great American Bash on Sunday night. First off, number 10, let's talk about the opening video package. I thought this was well done. They talked about the tradition of the Great American Bash and its history. We had a focus on Cody Rhodes, who did some narration to lead into the intro of the pay-per-view. I thought this was a great start to the Great American Bash. Kind of hanging on that tradition a little bit, as they should. This is a long-standing traditional event that goes back all the way back to the mid-'80s, so why the fuck not? Number 9, this was the low-hanging fruit I'm talking about on this pay-per-view, so to speak. The Baron Corbin-Gable Stevenson match. Where to start with this? There was definitely some talk about this match going into it this weekend. Locally here in Minnesota, there was even some articles on the main newspapers up in the Twin Cities that Stevenson will be making his debut over this past weekend against Corbin. In hindsight, I don't know if having his debut match in a situation such as this, for one, having Corbin having to be the guy to carry him, and then secondly, in a premium live event format instead of perhaps debuting at the Performance Center in Orlando in front of a controlled crowd there. All the dominoes just fell in this match. We'll just say that much. The entrances were interesting. They certainly tried to add some flair to Gable Stevenson in his entrance, and for that matter, Baron Corbin, who got yet another gimmick reboot of sorts, different kind of ring gear, entrance, music, etc. And as the match progressed, things just broke down, and it was very clear that this match should have really never been booked. And then to boot, the crowd turned on Stevenson hardcore, and he was starting to emulate greats such as Kurt Angle and things like that. The crowd turned on him, even chanting, "You're no Angle." So I don't know what this was unexpected. I did not, going into this match, think that the crowd in Austin, Texas would very clearly turn on Gable Stevenson here. It was an ugly situation. There was actually probably some crowd padding of the audience sound from WWE. I felt like they added some cheering after the finish when the crowd, again, very much vocal here, chanted bullshit at the double count-out finish here. Quite frankly, the post-match was better than the match itself, with Stevenson throwing in a belly-to-belly suplex, kind of, sort of. Wasn't exactly executed perfectly, but Baron Corbin took a pretty wicked bump into the barricade in the corner of ringside area. But yikes, yikes, yikes. This match was, by all indications, an absolute disaster. And I do wonder, coming off of this, if Stevenson might take some time away from WWE. He's got all these decisions to make. Is he going to stay with the University of Minnesota? Is he going to go to Iowa State? Is he going to compete this way? Is he going to go that way with things? I think he needs to take some time off of WWE. And frankly, I don't know if he's ready for this. And I don't know if he has his heart in WWE. I guess time will tell. But this was a mess. The crowd was even cheering Baron Corbin, which is a first to my recollection. My goodness. Wow. Let's talk about number 8. How about those fans? I guess we kind of already talked about a little bit how they turned on this match very harshly and very reactively. They chanted bullshit. They chanted, "You're no Angle." There was definitely a heel heat directed at Gable Steveson even after the match. Steveson had this look on his face like deer in the headlights, not knowing what to do with these reactions from these fans in this match at number 8. Let's talk about another disappointing match. I felt like the submission match for the Women's Championship between Thea Hale and Tiffany Stratton. This just was not what it needed to be, clearly. I really don't think that they should have done a submission gimmick to this match in the first place. That was the first handicap. Tiffany Stratton is not a polished wrestler by any freaking means at this point. Maybe she will be down the road, but at this point, submissions are not her game. And I know that was kind of the storyline going into this, but the fact that she won with a submission, and a weak one at that, very ineffective looking submission spots by Tiffany Stratton, I just could not go for this match. You know, it's too bad because I think Thea Hale really did her part in this match, but when you're talking about this gimmick, this is not a strong point for a Tiffany Stratton character, and with her level of experience as well, this just did not work. This was yet another failed execution, I felt, on this pay-per-view, unfortunately, here. Number 6 was not necessarily a match or anything, but just a segment in the back that caught my attention that I think has some potential, as they're clearly probably going to be doing this match pretty soon, hopefully on NXT TV, and that is Dominic Mysterio and Dragon Lee. I like it. I think there's a lot of good dynamics here with Dragon Lee kind of emulating and looking up to Rey Mysterio in his career, and that could play a big part in this match. I think this should be an excellent North American title match. Whenever it happens is anybody's question, but hopefully soon on NXT TV, for sure. Number 5 was kind of a surprise. This was the pre-show match, which I felt was better than, as noted here, 2 of the major matches on the pay-per-view, and this was the Metaphor against Dragon Lee, Nathan Frazier, Valentina Feroz, and Yulisa Leon. And everybody, even the women, I thought, really kind of tried to actively bust their ass in this match. I know going into this match there was a lot of speculation that this could be quite of a disaster of a match because of the women involved in the match, particularly Lash Legend. But all in all, I thought either they did well on the road agenting in this match, where they kind of made sure that like the Lash Legend really wasn't doing too much in the match, which was good, and it was focused more on the men. And all in all, I was definitely impressed. I thought this was better than it had any right to be, and I put it at number 5. How about number 4? This was the opener on the pay-per-view side, Gallus and the Family. And it was pretty good. It was only about 8 minutes or maybe 9 minutes. I thought because of that, the pace of it worked well. Crowd was hot for it. The Family is over. For whatever reasons, this goofy-ass storyline that kind of doesn't make a fucking lick of sense, but it worked in putting the Family over. And now, for sure, Stax is definitely over. D'Angelo is definitely at a different level than he was prior to this, so I guess mission accomplished. They got the tag championships. I think they can have a good run with it. Dallas's run did come to an end. They were starting to get kind of stale, so it was time to make the change here. And then number 3, these last 3, these were all stellar matches, which you really should go out of your way and check it out. We'll follow up again with it tomorrow on midweek must-see matches. We'll talk about these a little more, but at number 3, I had Blair Davenport and Roxanne Perez in the Weapons Wild match that I think, frankly, overachieved like a motherfucker. I really liked how they had Roxanne's mother and sister at ringside. The sister seemed to be one hell of an actress, or she thought that legitimately this shit was, well, legit, I guess, because she was invested in it. She was damn near bawling her eyes out after this match. Good intensity. I thought everything was with this that it needed to be as the storyline was, which has been really good. I've really enjoyed this program on NXT. The grocery store fight that they had just last week was excellent as a final build to this match, and they followed up really well with this bout. Definitely a strong match. Roxanne went over, and the question remains, I mean, both of these women, frankly, I think would be ready to move up to the main roster and even keep this program going and move it to the main roster. This is a hot program for NXT, I think. Number 2, the North American title triple threat. Dominic Mysterio retaining over Wesley and Mustafa Ali. Damn, this was awesome. Kudos to whoever the road agent was for this one. I thought this match was laid out really well. Mustafa Ali taking that 450 hard out of the corner of the ring. My goodness. Just all around great stuff here. The spot with Rhea Ripley and Wesley, the table. I love this match. This was so freaking good. This would normally be number 1 on a list for the best of the pay-per-view. This was excellent stuff. But number 1, of course, was the main event for the NXT title, and a hell of a match that may win NXT Match of the Year possibly. Ilya Dragunov against Carmelo Hayes. I thought there was going to be a title change here. Dragunov is so good with the near falls and the intensity and the physicality. It was no different in this match. Just a fantastic main event cap off. It started out a little shaky with a few parts, as we talked about, but those 3 matches, the women's match, Weapons Wild, between Perez and Davenport, the Triple Threat North American Championship match, and then this match at number 1, the NXT title match. Damn good shit, boy. So that is about it for NXT's Great American Bash. Taking a look back at a top 10 pick style, I will throw down a quick grade on Great American Bash. I'll give it probably a B plus to a B range. Those matches I talked about, the Corbin match with Stevenson particularly, definitely dragged this show down a little bit, as well as did the Stratton and Thea Hale match. But otherwise, I thought everything else was very solid for this one. All right, come on back tomorrow, Wednesday night. Midweek must-see matches sometime after Dynamite. We will be breaking down, once again, a very extensive list this week in the world of wrestling. All the best matches of the week. We talk about it as part of midweek must-see matches right here tomorrow. That's